Famcast Media, bitch.
You see, stories like these are the reason why you should never, ever look up to celebrities. Good morning, demons and demonesses. Kwame Wahkan here, and just got this thing that popped up on my news feed. And let's just say it's very disappointing, but I really shouldn't be surprised. But this story involves Alice Cooper. Now, for those that don't know, Alice Cooper is a major inspiration for many rock stars and metalheads all over the world. Now, you see that KK Reaper poster I got back there? Guess who inspired him? Alice fucking Cooper. But you know, this is a very heartbreaking story for me, as it probably is for him. And I haven't even reached out to him to make sure that he was alright, but I'll make sure I get to do that once I'm done with this video. But Alice Cooper, I really hate to say this. Alice Cooper has been drinking Jesus juice. I got an article here, and let's get through it and read it together. Alice Cooper says gender-affirming care for transgender kids is a fad and condemns woke things. While he may be best known as one of the gender-bending faces of the shock rock movement, Alice Cooper revealed that he's not in favor of real gender-affirming care. In a new interview with Stereogum, the 75-year-old rock star shared his opinions about the best practice medical care for transgender youth, saying that he was afraid that it's also a fad. Using common anti-trans talking points to elaborate, the star said that he felt children were not mature enough to make major decisions about their gender identity. I find it wrong when you have a 6-year-old who has no idea. He wants to play and you're confusing him, telling him, yeah, you're a boy, but you could be a girl if you want to be. He said, I mean, if you identify as a tree, I'm going. Come on, what are we in? A Kurt Vonnegut novel? It's so absurd that it's gone now to the point of absurdity. Cooper then took aim at the whole woke thing at large, claiming that society has taken progressive language too far. Who's making the rules, he asked. It's getting to the point now where it's laughable. If anyone was trying to make a point on this thing, they turned it into a huge comedy. I don't know one person that agrees with this woke thing. The school's ousting also shared anti-trans rhetoric about access to public bathrooms, claiming that allowing transgender people to use the bathroom that corresponds with their gender identity would lead to violent crimes. A guy could walk into a woman's bathroom at any time and say, I just feel like I'm a woman today, and have the time of his life in there, Cooper said. He's just taking advantage of that situation. Somebody's going to get raped. Alright, so I'm going to stop reading this right here. This is probably the dumbest thing I've heard Alice Cooper say in my entire life. Alright, first off, you know, rape and sexual assault, that's been going on since, God, the dawn of time. I'm pretty sure that people have gotten raped and sexually assaulted long before the transgender issue even became a hot button issue. And also, a rapist doesn't need to identify as transgender in order to, commit a crime. You know, anybody can easily just go into a bathroom when no one's there, go in and then, commit a crime. They don't need to identify as trans to do that. I mean, if that was the case, then you would see a lot of, rapists out there doing something like that. But you really don't. In fact, there was literally a story that I read in the news about a man who snuck into a woman's bathroom and installed hidden cameras so that, he could sell those videos on the internet. The man wasn't transgender. He was just a regular man. I don't know if, Alice Cooper is getting owed and he's not thinking right, but come on. Like, that's the dumbest argument. The whole bathroom argument's probably one of the dumbest anti-trans arguments I've ever heard. But, let me continue on with this. Despite Cooper's claims, research shows that gender-affirming care significantly reduces the rate of depression and suicidality among transgender youth. Meanwhile, medical professionals providing gender-affirming care point out that minors are not able to make these life-threatening decisions by themselves, and that the Endocrine Society and the World Professionals Association for Transgender Health do not recommend gender-affirming surgery to anyone under the age of 18. Also, another thing that I want to add in, just for context, these types of surgeries are banned in all 50 states for minors. So not a single state in the United States will perform bottom surgery on a minor. So I don't know where this, rhetoric is coming from, but the people clearly aren't doing their research and they're just making shit up as they go along. But then again, we already knew they were doing that anyway, so. Prior to any gender-affirming medical or surgery intervention, all minors must have an intake with a knowledgeable mental health provider internal to our system, Dr. Joshua D. Safer told Billboard last year. Once deemed ready for a medical/surgical intervention, the process we have here for adults are then brought into play. The No More Mr. Nice Guy singer is far from the first rocker to share anti-trans sentiments over the last year. In May, Kiss guitarist Paul Stanley called gender-affirming care a sad and dangerous fad, making similar claims to Cooper about children playing with gender rather than understanding their identity. Twisted Sister lead singer Dee Snider backed up Stanley's comments, saying, "There was a time where I felt pretty too. Glad my parents didn't jump to any rash conclusions." Both rockers have since walked back their comments. Alright, well, that seems to be the only good thing about this is that both Dee Snider and Paul Stanley did, eventually apologize. But that wasn't until after they received repercussions. I think with Dee Snider, he was supposed to perform the song We're Not Gonna Take It at a Pride Festival. And the organizers at the Pride Festival were like, after what you just said, we're disinviting you. We don't want you to perform there. And I honestly, I can't, argue against something like that. Think about it. Like, you have Dee Snider. This guy was literally a pioneer within, the glam metal community. But come to think of it, both Dee Snider and Paul Stanley, because both Kiss and Twisted Sister are glam metal bands. Glam metal bands are very popular among queer people. Shoot, literally just about everybody I know in KK Reaper's Outcast Alliance is either a fan of, Twisted Sister, Alice Cooper, Poison. Like, everyone's a hair metal fan there. The entire Outcast Alliance. And then you have people like this, saying this crazy shit. And now you have Alice Cooper, who, like I said, very, very inspirational to many shock rockers. Many shock rockers. And then for him to do some shit like this. But to be honest with you, I was stupid for thinking that Alice Cooper was better than this. I mean, we all know that Alice Cooper, is an outspoken Christian. He's been born again. He constantly talks about his faith. He used his platform and, his fame to, try and, dispel myths about rock and heavy metal. Back in the 80s and 90s when you had the satanic panic and everyone was claiming, oh, heavy metal is satanic and rock is satanic. You shouldn't allow your kids to listen to, buy records from record stores and this and that. And then you had Alice Cooper, who basically was the voice of reason, who came out and said, hey, I'm a Christian. I'm a born again Christian. It's not satanic. It's just, people like certain genres of music. And there would be times where he would even perform, Christian songs. There would be times where he would pray. There would be times where he would, openly talk about how much he loves Jesus and his relationship with God. And I'm not going to lie, even though I no longer believe in Christianity, I'm even willing to admit that Jesus Christ Superstar is a work of art. And, as, someone who's, an atheist and a Satanist, I even had a lot of respect for him. But after this, I don't know. I'm really hoping that, he's just regurgitating talking points. I'm really hoping that somebody, primed him into saying some shit like this. I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm really hoping that he's not the monster that this article is making it seem out to be. I'm really hoping that this is just a misunderstanding. Maybe he just doesn't know anything about trans people. Maybe, he's uninformed of the situation. But maybe he's just, like I said, just jumping on the bandwagon, just saying what everyone else is saying. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of anti-trans rhetoric out there. And that's where all the money is. It doesn't matter what platform or of social media you're on. You always will seem to get like an anti-trans ad, either from Turning Points USA or from, the Young Americans Foundation, Daily Wire, PragerU. This is all the result of a successful propaganda campaign. I was wondering why I'm getting so many ads, anti-trans ads, when I'm like, I don't even Google all that anti-trans stuff. Reason why I'm getting so many ads about it is because that's where all the money is. People are paying for ad space to make sure that they push out all of this anti-trans bigoted rhetoric. And, maybe Alice Cooper fell for it. But, Alice Cooper has, done work with Turning Points USA in the past, so I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. But I will say he let a lot of his fans down. He kind of let me down. And God, I can't even imagine what the Reaper is going through. KK Reaper actually met Alice Cooper in person. And on top of that, Alice Cooper was so impressed by the KK Reaper that he even asked to get a copy of his CD, and he said he would listen to it. And when KK Reaper told me that, I was like, oh my God, Alice Cooper is really down to earth. And then you see how he's portrayed in the movie Wayne's World, where they get to meet him, and they're like, and he's like really nice, he's really polite. And from what other people I know that have met Alice Cooper in real life, apparently he really is that nice and he really is that down to earth. All I got to say is this is very, very disappointing, because I never really expected something like this from Alice Cooper. I mean, when I heard about, the Paul Stanley incident and the D. Snider incident, let's be honest, those were some heavy blows for me. Now you have Alice Cooper. How many more rock stars and metalheads are going to let me down? Honestly, when it comes to celebrities, never put these people on a pedestal. At the end of the day, they are human. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, not every human being is good. There's a lot of awful people out there. And sometimes the people that you idolize and look up to might be one of those awful people. Also, just to interject, do I truly believe that Alice Cooper is this hateful, disgusting person? No. Honestly, it sounds more like he's just misinformed, or, he watched too many PragerU videos, or, maybe an ad popped up before he was watching a YouTube video and he sat there and watched the whole friggin' ad. Because they come up all the time. You can't act like you don't see them. Like, you either, like I said earlier, you either get an ad from Turning Points, Young Americans Foundation, Ben Shapiro destroys liberal college student, or Michael Knowles shuts up, a student about abortion or trans rights, or, shit like that. And it's always these, big name conservative podcasters going up against these students, saying, hey, look at how cool we are. We like to, debate college students and destroy them, but yet they won't debate any like actual professionals or anything like that. Notice how they won't see them do that? So look, were the comments he made wrong? Absolutely. But let's be honest. Alice Cooper is not Matt Walsh. Alice Cooper is not Candace Owens. Alice Cooper is not Michael Knowles. All right, so let's get all that out the way before we make any more judgment, all right? At this point, the only celebrity that I will truly, go through the fire for is maybe Dolly Parton. That's it. And I think Dolly Parton is pretty much universally loved by everyone on the whole planet right now. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this. To Alice Cooper, you done fucked up, lad. You really done fucked up. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Alright, you guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. You guys stay safe, stay metal, hail Satan, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.